gamers? Would you be one? Could you be one? Shout about plunder, but don't despair. This colony's breeding great robbers. Would you be one? Could you be one? If an 80% mortality rate works for you, for a few bucks a month you can sign up and have the Hobbs kill you. So let's make the most of another Sunday. Brew up some coffee and play it my way. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my gamers? Won't you please, please won't you be my gamers?
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Mr. Hobbs's Gamerhood. We're pretty excited tonight. We're going to be playing, boom, some old school essentials. It's exciting by Necrotic Gnome and Gavin Norman. So thanks, Gavin, for that sweet game. We're also going to be playing, I'll show that later. I think this is a new campaign. I call this group Thursday. I like to name my groups, and then I also name campaigns. So if this group stayed together for another campaign, we'd still be called Thursday Justice, but we would have a different campaign name. So I don't know what that means, but let's meet the people. All right, so I'm pretty excited about how good this looks. I really like my colors. So why don't we, you guys, you can just say something about yourselves. We won't talk about our characters necessarily because we don't necessarily know. You can if you want to, but why don't we go clockwise? We'll start with Curtis. You're muted, buddy.
There we go. Okay, yeah, my name's Curtis. I play role-playing games. What can I say? Yeah. My name's Curtis. I'm a gamer, and I have a problem.
Nice, Mike.
Yeah, Mike. Kind of a newbie to the hobby, so I'm looking to learn some stuff and have some fun. I'm excited.
You'll definitely learn some stuff. I don't know how much fun you have. I'm going to turn your volume up a little bit, so that'll be better. Robert.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. My name's Robert. A lot of you might know me on places like Twitter as Nolabert, as I'm originally from New Orleans. I live in Wisconsin now, though. This is going to be my first OSE game.
All right. No pressure. Edwin.
All right. Howdy. I'm Edwin. Yep. I'm also like Curtis, gamer with a problem.
Edwin has been on Hobbs and Friends before, so there you go. He's one of the friends. All these guys are good guys, though, so don't feel like I'm going to treat him special. In fact, I'll probably be worse to him. Dan.
I hope so. Keep it short.
Hey, all right, it's Dan. I've played with some of these guys before, but I've met them all a little bit. I've never played a BX game, but I did play the red and blue box. When I grew up, black box. I played all that years ago, so this will be the first foray back into all that.
Oh, exciting! So I have to be up front and say that there are some house rules that we've added. That I've added over time, and I've kind of shifted those right into old school essentials from BX. I think I sent you guys. Do you want to start with that? Or actually, you know what I did? I actually took some notes from some website about how to run a session 0, because everyone says run a session 0, but no one really tells you how to run a session 0. It's not very common, actually. So I went through, and this is actually the third one that I've done in the last month or so. And the last one that we did for White Sands, some people were pretty happy with. So when we put it over to YouTube. So the first thing that we want to talk about is scheduling. I think we're going to play, we plan on playing every other Thursday. Is that right? Or do you guys want to play every Thursday? Where are we at?
My Thursdays are free, so.
I think
I'm good either way. I think it depends on how often we're going to cancel. If we're going to cancel a lot, we should aim for every Thursday.
I don't think we are going to cancel a lot. That's going to be super unusual to cancel, hopefully.
So are you, I guess it's on your prep energy, right? Probably.
I'll be fine. I'm not worried about that. You didn't say anything though, Dan. How do you feel?
I would love to do every Thursday, but I can guarantee you at least once a month I am gonna have to say sorry.
Yeah.
If we did every other Thursday, would that happen?
It depends on what the date lands on, and I would make my best to make every Thursday. Work, and sometimes I have to wake up at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and either I'd have to say no thank you, or I'd have to leave after an hour or something like that.
Yeah.
It all depends on if it snows here or not.
Long commute, it sounds like.
No, I'll be the one shoveling
Oh,
before
okay.
I go to work.
Mike,
Yeah.
what did you say? Did I already ask you? Yeah. No.
Well, I'm usually good on every Thursday as well. My just wondering is if it'd work better every other Thursday until through the holidays, because now we're coming up through all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I'm really open.
Yeah,
So
that
I'm
won't
open.
affect me. I have no kids at home. So,
Yeah,
Robert?
for me it's up.
Oh, go ahead, Curtis. Sorry.
Yeah, for me it's up through the holidays is good. After that, I teach on Thursday night.
Oh, okay. So we should probably try to do it every Thursday because I don't know how many sessions it's going to be. I usually say 9 to 15 because this is sandboxy at Mike's request. So I don't even really necessarily know what you guys are going to go after. But once we figure that out through play is usually how I do it. Then we can like maybe have a beginning and an end, at least to this story arc. Robert, did you say what you thought about it?
I could do either. It wouldn't really matter to me. Either way would be fine.
So what I will propose is why don't we say we're going to try every Thursday, but like we'll do something every Thursday. And even if we only have a few people, we could play a board game, or I like to also write backstory sessions. So like war stories. So like if only one person or only 3 people can play, then 2 people might be playing an NPC and 1 person will play their character, and it'll be like some backstory that happened in the past to your character. And so anyone's here will get XP for their actual character, even if they're just playing an NPC. And if anyone isn't, then they won't. But in BX or in OSE, even the gap between experience isn't huge. Like your characters don't get a lot different, and I would expect most people, but we'll try and get it. Because I figured it looked like every Thursday is fine, but I mean, obviously we got a Thanksgiving in there, we have a New Year's is in there, Christmas is all in there. But if we tried for every Thursday and we hit the majority of them, like if we hit 3 a month or something like that, that would give us 6 sessions at least, until Curtis might have to leave, and at that point we'll figure it out when that time comes, if that's cool.
That sounds great to me.
All right, so I think if we could know by Tuesday what we're doing, that would give me enough time. Then I would have Wednesday to prepare whatever it is we're doing on that Thursday. So and I know that emergencies are going to happen. Stuff is going to happen. So I get that. But if you can, like if you know what your schedule is or something like that, or hey, it looks like a storm's coming in, so you might want to you might want to get something ready. Yeah, you might want to get something ready. And if we're only missing 1 person with 5 players, we could probably still play. What I normally like to do is if the player isn't there, then their character just kind of fades. It's just like they're not there. And then when they come back, it doesn't matter where you are, then they're there. And we aren't going to talk about it. We're not going to get into big, long reasons for why or anything. I've just found that for me, that continuity isn't necessary anymore. I used to say that it is, but it's so much easier. We're all adults, and the amount of scheduling hell that we normally go through a game, it's just not worth it to me. Do you guys have any thoughts on that? Edwin, you're grinning a lot. I'm not used to that.
I agree that the easiest thing is to let characters fade out, fade away, and fade back in. I'm totally game with that.
Yeah, and so
It
go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to repeat.
It only gets awkward when there's something, if there's a certain character who's driving the story or who's sort of the point on some activity or whatever. But I think that's when we have to do a little side story or something.
Yep, I totally agree with you. Does anyone else have anything to add about that? Robert, you look like
I like it.
Oh, good.
No, I think it sounds good.
All right, good. I couldn't tell if you like Kat was going crazy down there or what, because you're like, oh, what's happening? All right, so we are playing Old School Essentials, I sent you guys all the house rules. Of course, I don't have them up. I don't plan on reading these verbatim, but does anyone have any questions about anything that's on there? Did anyone look at them?
I got most of it, and most of mine belongs to the spells. So as a cleric with my wisdom score, I start with 2 spells.
Awesome.
Yeah, whatever your wisdom bonus is, you get that, and then you just add up your spells normally on the table.
Okay.
So next level you'll get one
So I'll have 3.
first level.
Okay.
Yeah. And as far as clerics go, I allow you to you can insta change that into a healing spell. So you can take whatever you want, and then you can turn it to a healing spell if you want to, like a Cure Light Wounds.
Well, if you're showing my character sheet, it might change after I switch my spells out, since I know that.
Yeah, that's no problem.
All right.
Yeah. We're still.
I took like 3 light wounds.
Yeah. You don't need to do that. So
Okay. All right.
hopefully you only took
it's gonna
2, because don't you only get 2 spells?
I do. I was kind of like, yeah.
All right. So we do. I do. One of the biggest things I find is, especially in a traditional campaign like this, the survivability of characters, unless that is a trope or something that you specifically want to have and you're trying to show how cheap life can be, then I wouldn't use these extra rules for the death saves and such. But in this type of game where I feel like the character development and the story of the characters is probably the focus of the campaign, I like the characters to be able to have a little more survivability. So instead of normally in OSE, when you hit 0 hit points, your character's dead, and that's all there is to it. I also don't use a ton of high-level healing magic. It's not something you're going to find all the time, so it's harder for characters to come back from death. In fact, I only know of one character in all of the OSC games that I've ever ran has come back from death. That's including the 100-plus Kalmata sessions. And that was a weird reincarnation that a character came back as a halfling. And that was like a scroll that someone found, and it was a huge ritual, and it was like a whole quest deal. It wasn't just like something easy. So I think this is kind of a lower magic setting, the way that I run it. So the way that it works is when your character hits 0 hit points, your character's out of the combat. And once the combat is over, and it doesn't even have to be a combat, it could be a trap or I don't know, a meteor strike or whatever. You roll the body, and that basically allows that character to make a death save. And if they make the death save, then their character is alive, and then we'll roll on a different table to see what those ramifications were, or maybe what happened. I use a modified axe mortality roll for that. And then that'll, like, the amount of time that the character sat there bleeding out will take a lot of factors go into it, like who rolls the body. Do they use a potion of healing or some weird healing salve or some kind of healing skill? Are they skilled at healing somehow? All those things will depend, can modify this roll, which is a D20 and a D6. And then the D20 will kind of tell you what has happened. The D6 is kind of more of a location type of thing on that table. I will not give you the table because I'm keeping it secret, close to the vest. As one of my buddies, Bird, would say, that's privileged information. Yes, he's a complete whack job. Anyway, any questions on that?
No, that sounds good.
All right. Another added rule is... Trollish Delvers Sundered Shields rule. Old hats at these games, old school games, are going to be very familiar with that is, but players newer to it aren't. So what it basically means is if you have a shield, you can use your shield to stop an attack, a falling boulder, maybe a dragon's breath, maybe a scorpion sting, anything. You can use your shield to say, I'm going to sunder my shield, and then it'll stop that attack, but your shield is ruined. I've added some rules that I got out of Low Fantasy Gaming. So the shield isn't necessarily completely destroyed, but it is ruined for then. It may be a situation we're going to make a saving throw versus Dragon's Breath on the shield, and if the shield makes the save, then you can repair it, or someone can repair the shield, so you could use it. So like if you're out on this adventure and you only have that one shield, and then you sunder it, you're going to lose that AC until you fix that shield. Basically, you can't sunder it again that session because I only want you to do it once per session. Does anyone, and like there's magical bonuses rules in there, but I'm a tight ass with magic, so the chances of you getting a magic shield are probably slim anyway. But if you do, the rules are in there, and these rules are stuff that we can talk about. Nothing is.
I already have a magic shield.
You do?
Yeah.
What? Wait, I put that in on my character. I like it. Like right along with my spring-loaded sheath dagger, right, Mike?
Exactly. Yeah.
There's the wrist.
+1 shield and.
Yeah, he took away my wrist dart, poisoned wrist dart. So I was like, all right.
So I have
Can
some
minions have shields?
No. Nope. Minions cannot sunder shields. Hirelings.
No, the
cannot.
minion is a shield to be
Yeah.
sundered.
My meat shield.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah.
Man, I'm like staring at these rules. I forgot I got. No, everyone's quiet in the chat anyway. But we got some people watching. Interesting. All right, so I have some weapons that I added through some different rules. I don't know if I'm in love with the bola and the net, but some people asked about darts and javelins, so we have that. The way crossbows work is a little different. Probably the biggest thing in this game I've seen is like spears can go 5 feet away, so you don't have to attack right next to you. This is a pretty tactical game. We're going to have tokens. The monster's going to have tokens. There's going to be terrain. That's my niche, I feel like, as far as doing actual plays, is I kind of do it tactically. Even when I started running 5e, streaming 5e, I did it tactically as well. So you can use a spear 10 feet away. When you use something two-handed, you go last in the round in initiative. As far as initiative goes, we do group initiative. So what we'll do is we'll pick for the first combat scene, one person will be the IB, which is a different term for initiative person. And then until he loses, then the next person will roll initiative. And it's just a D6. Whoever rolls higher on the D6 is going to be, that side will go first. And then we'll use the 4 M's out of the OSE book, which is movement, missile, magic, melee. And don't forget it. It's very easy to remember. It's the 4 M's. That's a joke. It's okay. You guys can laugh. I mean, if you wanted to.
Trying to memorize it right now.
Yeah.
I don't know, I felt like my smiling was making you uneasy earlier, so I'm trying to keep it dead.
No more smiling. I like it.
So it's just like the 7 Ps. So
That's
So
right.
Hobbs, do I have
Right.
to declare spellcasting before
Yes.
we? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because if the other side goes first and they hit you, then you'll lose that spell. Turning
Sure.
undead goes on magic, goes during the magic phase of the round. If we both roll the same, then it'll be simultaneous. And like if you kill some of the monsters or whatever, they'll still get an attack that round, is what that means. Sometimes I'll just say let's roll again, and sometimes I'll say it's simultaneous. Totally, completely GM fiat and on a whim, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. That's not totally true, but two-handed weapons get advantage on damage dice. That's because a lot of times, like in Kalmata, people won't use two-handed weapons because they want that chance to survive with the sundered shield, but this is a way to alleviate some of that. In character creation, you guys are going to know most of that. So read magic obviously is not necessary. And sometimes I will allow people to sense certain types of magic, like your hair will stand up on the back of your neck or on the back of your arms or something like that, or maybe you'll smell something differently. And that's maybe for everybody, not necessarily just wizards or spellcasters. There's no elves. I do use dwarves. There's no elves in the setting. They're considered, they're called the Rodashan, and they're this very powerful at one point in the known world, but then kind of just faded away. No one really knows what happened to them. Fighters may cleave after any attack, and they can cleave per the number of levels they have. So if you kill an adversary in a round, you hit the killing blow, then you can strike again. They have to be within melee reach. Sometimes I'll let you move 5 feet. In the past, I've even said that, like, if you had a javelin, you could throw it or whatever. I don't know. We'll talk about it and see what we think. Thieves use +2 for their. Go ahead.
What's the level? I didn't understand the level part of that. So if I kill somebody and I'm level 1, I can make 1 cleave attack, and if I kill that second person, I'm done. Question mark. Or do I? If I keep killing, I keep swinging.
Yep, you're done. But if you were second level, then you could cleave twice. Third level, you could cleave 3 times.
Now, do I have to kill twice in order to cleave twice, or if I kill someone, I get 2 more attacks? Okay.
You have to cleave each time. It's almost like an exploding attack, right? In some ways.
Right. Each time you kill, you can carry on, but only as many times as you have levels.
Yep. Yeah, don't forget that, because a lot of times I forget it. So that's why I want to go over this stuff, because I will forget too. I'll forget to tell you, because I'm usually doing way more things than I should be. Let's see here. So the rest of this stuff, magic users and clerics basically get your either intelligence or wisdom modifier bonus spells. We did random rolls for I never gave you the comprehend languages thing, did I? I'll just ended up looking it up when I have to, and then hopefully I'll write it down on something so I don't forget. I try to be consistent, and sometimes I'll forget. Whenever you're playing a rulings not rules game, there's going to be conversation between the GMs and the players until you get to an accord, and hopefully I'll try to be consistent with them. Or if we'll talk about it later, and then we'll switch to that other rule or something. I'm pretty easy to get along with most of the time, I think, unless we're talking about the number of spears or ladders. Those things, hard and fast about. Those are some inside jokes that none of you guys get, but people watching will get that.
That's really good. I'm glad you're GMing for the audience instead of for us.
Always. Hey, I'm still. You guys, you have to listen to my podcast more often, Edwin. You'd probably know. Skill checks, I go for the Price is Right style. What that means is whenever we try to do something, it's going to be one of your attributes, and you want to get below your attribute. Well, the highest you can get without going over is a better roll. So if you have an intelligence 13 and you're trying to decipher some ancient language that you don't know, or maybe what these glyphs might have to do with something, or this map that's been broken off into a mosaic and you're trying to put it together, whatever, you would say, all right, I'm going to say, all right, make an int roll. And then if your int was 13, if you rolled it right on a 13, that would be the best success possible. If you rolled anything below 13, it would be good, but the higher, the better. Or if like you had a contested roll against someone or something, then same thing, okay, if you're making a strength check, one guy's a strength 13, the other guy's a 15, the highest without going over. If the 15 guy only rolled a 4 and the other guy rolled a 12, then that guy would win. That makes sense? Yeah. All right, good.
Yeah.
Okay, I think the rest of this stuff is one of my buddy's things that he added, and this has been sitting here for a while. The only thing I really use out of this is like when you look, if you look down farther where it talks about clarifications, this is kind of how I tend to roll. Anybody can hide, anybody can move quietly, but only the people with the abilities can actually move silently or hide in shadows, so to speak. So even if you're wearing plate mail or something, you still may have a chance to sneak past some stuff, especially if they're fornicating or otherwise busy, right? They could be. Edwin's eyes got big. Maybe you're just looking.
Those are the 2 options you came up with. One and everything else.
That's me. Hey, Steve, the NPC. What's up? Sense bullshit. I don't even know when he posted that, but somebody in the chat says he senses bullshit. Without question. I think that fits, though. Other than that, does anyone have any questions as far as the house rules go? We use we use the
in
basic
your example in your example where somebody has a 15 strength and somebody has a 13 strength and they both roll a 12, who wins?
Tie.
Okay, so it's the die roll, not the closeness to your skill that matters.
Oh, yeah, you know what? I probably would give it to... It does kind of matter, but I don't like to... The die roll, because I don't want it to do the math. I don't want to have to subtract them or whatever. So
I
I
you
would
could say it's the person with the higher strength. Like on a tie roll, maybe it's the one with the higher strength is going to win because they're stronger, or I don't know. There's all kinds of reasons you could do something, but
yeah, and I don't know which one I would go with. Let's hold off until you're surprised and see
All
if
right.
that happens. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I don't know if I've ever had to.
okay.
I don't know if I've ever had to. I just like to say the price is wrong, so that's why I do it that way. Not because I
That's a
think
joke, right?
Kind of. All right, so I think we covered this. Oh, I have been toying with one other new rule. So in my other Old School Essentials campaign, I added. I want to see how you guys feel about it. Is the weird point? That's WYRD, weird, which is kind of another word for fate or destiny. So it's like a hero point, and you can use that to like make a reroll, maybe have a bonus on your mortality check or something like that. And you have the number of weird points, the number of player characters in the session. So you guys would start off with 5 weird points, and anybody could use it. It's a pool that you guys could use. So like if you missed on an attack, I would say, hey, you want to use a weird point for that? And you say, yeah, you take it. Then you'd go down to 4 out of 5. If you don't use any of the points, each one is worth 50 XP at the end of the session that we would split. So that's not very much. Well, maybe we'll just give it to you. I don't know. That's a lot though. 5 times 250.
NPC.
That's a lot. I don't know. Anyway, that's I don't know if you guys want to use that. It's basically like you fail your death save, you could use a weird point for it to maybe still be alive if you wanted.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, same here. The way I die.
Okay.
I'm cool with that.
Curtis is gonna take all our
Curtis
weird
is going to need it.
He might take all your
We're gonna
weird
use
points,
it
yeah.
on-
I don't
we're gonna
know.
Use it on initiative. It really matters.
I don't know with Dan with his cleric that has no armor. I'm not sure.
They're holy robes.
All right,
Use
weird
that
points
fate.
are in. So experience points. I don't like to do experience points for monsters. A few reasons. I don't care if you kill the monsters. That's not what I think. I want to make you feel like that's something you don't want to do. That's not what I want to reward you for. And I'm super lazy. I don't want to go back and look up how many experience points each one is and then calculate all that bullshit. I don't like doing that. So I will give you, what I like to do is say every session that you survive, you get 100 XP per level that you are. Okay. And then treasure, you would get every gold piece treasure you would get that you secure, gold piece treasure that you secure, you get. So like if you went out and you killed a horde of weir rats, you wouldn't get XP for killing them, but you would get XP for what their treasure is. And then I'm assuming you wouldn't be first level doing that. Say you're 5th level. So you would each get 500 XP for that session, right? And then you would get the treasure for that. And then I usually give XP for like bonuses for completing a quest or something, whatever I throw in for. You guys cool with, because that's going to be way more XP than you'd ever get from monsters anyway in this game. Trust me.
I kind of like to watch you calculate.
Yeah.
I don't even want to calculate the treasure. I'm going to try and put it in there, and I'm hopefully like one of you guys is going to become the weird points guy. And so you're going to put in, hey, we got 5 of 5 weird points. One goes down, you'll put in 4 or 5 weird points and keep track of that. So one of you guys is going to be responsible for that. And then hopefully at some point, one guy is like, hey, I'm keeping track of treasure. And so one guy will be responsible for that. It could be the same guy. I don't care. But I don't want to be the guy.
I'm a very trustworthy character. I don't mind keeping track of the treasure.
I don't know. I'm the cleric this time around, man.
Yeah.
But I suck with notes, so.
All right. Is this too much? Are we guys cool with this? Are we learning
sounds good.
stuff?
I think that's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. That's
All
good.
right. Good. All right. So tone is something.
I'm going to have my mic off for just a second, but I'm still listening.
All right. Cool. So I like to talk about tone a little bit. I like to call my style of gaming gray fantasy because almost everything is shades of gray. I'm not really. There is an alignment. I use the OSC alignment, the 3-step alignment: chaos, law, and neutrality. But I don't always use chaos for evil or law for good. I think most of the time it's just going to be demeanors and the way creatures act and what they do and how people treat your characters, is then you would make decisions on that. So most of the time undead is most of the time they're going to hate the living, I would say. I can't think of too many times that you would consider, hey, these undead dudes like to do some trading. They're really fond of ochre, and maybe they would give us their gems for that. And that's probably not going to happen. Usually if you run into undead, they're probably going to want to kill you because they hate the living. But there could be opportunities when maybe that's not true. Maybe it's some kind of restless spirit that could be willing. But if you run into like beastmen, there could be beastmen who aren't going to be evil. They could just be beastmen and doing whatever they do. So it's not like a kill on sight sort of situation. And as far as like how I look at the game, I take what the characters do pretty seriously. In the game, anything that happens to the characters is pretty serious to them. They're in some pretty serious business most of the time that is sometimes lethal for them and their friends or their loved ones or the people that they just met down the street. Some really shitty things can happen to the characters. But I and you guys as players have no problem making jokes about it or having a good time. So there's a pretty good distinction there. What did I usually write? Yeah, it's deadly and serious, but I will mock the hell out of you and what you do with your character. But the game itself, I take pretty seriously. Is anyone? Would you say that's accurate after playing with me now for a while?
Yeah. Do we get special characters for on your podcast? We get, there's this one guy, we call him Bob, and then you can mention it so we all know who that guy is. Or are you going to just call us out by name?
I'll probably call you out. I mean, I'll mock you right now on the Twitch. So, and you guys can mock me. I don't care. In fact, at the end of the session, I usually like to take a little bit to ask what everyone's highs and lows were for the game, and then maybe we can learn from that as a group. Like, hey, yeah, I really like this. This was fun. This was a high for me. Hey, this was a low for me. Robert's dumb hats. I hate those. I wish he wouldn't wear a hat anymore. I'm just kidding, man. Anyway, so you might be wanting to think about that. I don't know if some people usually just say, "Oh, you're so awesome. There were no lows, and you are the high," and I'm fine with that. I can take it. Watch it, Edwin. I can tell you're getting sneaky. You're getting sneaky over there. All right. Anyway, that's the tone. Of play. As far as the game goes, I've put a ton of stuff in the Discord, probably overwhelmed you, and some of you, Edwin, paid no attention to any of it, and that's okay.
That's not all true. I just didn't pay any attention for the last week. I read all the shit you put in there for the 2 weeks you canceled.
Nice. Well, thank you, sir.
I read the rules. I read the setting.
Good. So
I've forgotten it all.
So this is a mostly human-centric setting. It is it's published in this particular zine, pretty much. And the setting really is this area called the North March, which historically was controlled by this culture known as the Rorn, who had a relatively light feudalistic society, kind of similar to the Scots or the Irish or the Gaelic type of Celtic maybe peoples. To the north of them are the Nordborn, and so they were constantly raided by the Nordborn because the Nordborn would be considered like Vikings, like Finnish. There's two different groups, the Idvin and the Kriegen. One of them are more of a seafaring race who lives in the upper mountains to the north, and the other one is the Kriegen. I already say that. One of them's Kriegen and one of them's Idvin. I don't even know what it is off the top of my head right now, which is pretty awesome. But anyhow, they raid in that area. But there was this time that the known world was controlled by an evil necromantic culture known as the Mabishi. It was called the Mabishal incursion. But like a couple generations ago, all the known world people gathered together and got rid of them. They're gone now, and they're mostly hidden down in their area of Mibishi where they came from. But their ruins are everywhere, and the ruins from cultures that came before them are pretty common. One of the shticks of the setting, it's called the Emergent Empires, but there was always someone here that did it before you, and then there will be someone after you. That's pretty much it. Everything that grows eventually dies and fades away. But there's something there to be found, and maybe some treasure. That's kind of the theme of the Emergent Empires. No one in the game, none of the NPCs would call the setting Emergent Empires. That's what I call it. They call it the known world. And there's tons of different cultures. So after the Mabishal incursion was sent off, that's what the Imperial is. Like when I said your characters knew the Imperial tongue, that's their tongue that got spread across all of the known world. And that's what people use for as a common language, basically. You all would have like your native language plus Imperial. Almost everyone learns Imperial. At some point, it's possible maybe Imperial would fade away, but I think that it does enough for the people that they would continue to use that language, when cultures mix. And so then Keldor is now probably the most powerful nation in the known world, and they're the southern border of Rorn. And when the Rornic people were so destroyed and decimated by the Mabishal incursion that they really couldn't control their space any longer, and the Keldorans came in and without a fight basically put their people in leadership positions over Rorn. And that happened after that. So it's been like a generation of this, maybe more, for some of the areas, because time passes differently in different areas. That's not metaphysically that, it's just different things happen. They didn't all happen like instantly, right, in history. So now you have this people who are some people feel they're subjugated by their Keldoran rulers, but others feel that isn't accurate because they know they would have been destroyed by beastmen and Kregan raiders if the Keldoran people wouldn't have come and helped them and overpowered them. So that's kind of what the situation is, and there is conflict about that. I think all of your characters, if I'm right, have served in the Keldoran Legion. They're 4 years, right?
Right.
Which is like if you grow up in this area, that you're required to do that, and you're required to take this token after you do it. And if like Electo or some kind of Praetor or something asked for your token, you didn't have one, you could be in trouble for that, basically.
So we can be, what's it called? Coin checked at any point.
Yeah.
You're in a bar and someone comes up and says, hey, show me your token. That's awesome. You owe me a beer.
I don't think I think it's probably held for more. I don't think plebeians would be doing it, right? Plebes aren't going to come around and be saying, hey, buddy, like the Thatcher isn't, I'm not thatching your house if you don't have your token. But it is something that exists.
Like when you get into the city or something, I imagine, right? Like if you're at the gate of a big city or something like that, you're going to get checked. Or
maybe. Depends on how many people were. Like if you were trying to go into the Legatus's compound or something, maybe they would say that then, but not even all the time, because if it's like a trader's coming in or whatever. But if you got in trouble and they asked for it and you didn't have it, then it would be worse. That kind of thing.
Okay.
Well, it seems like the kind of thing that when they need soldiers, they're going to be checking more people because
presumably
if you don't have the coin, they're going to bring you in.
That is what the law is that they will make you serve plus whatever you didn't serve before. So, all right. Yeah. That is that. That's kind of the concept.
So do we all have our coins? Can we just assume that's a given?
That's what it sounds like. That's why I asked you guys if you had all finished your terms. Like some of you may still be in the Legion under special circumstances, like you have specific jobs or something that you might do. There are, professions that maybe are still considered in the Legion, but like you find this murderers or whatever. But I got the impression no one is any longer. I think the only person
I have a lot of the Legion after my 4 years.
Yeah.
and I have a lot of proficiency with languages, so I don't know if that would make me somehow like in need by the legionnaires or legions.
The question would be would you want to re-up? That's what if you don't want to, then no.
And they don't do like freelancing.
Like maybe, depending on what you mean by that.
Like not
being attached to someone.
Duty.
Yeah,
not
yeah,
a
for
tour
sure.
of duty, yeah, but like hired as needed.
Maybe. How do you think that would? It sucks that we lost. So the screens are going to be messed up some because we lost Curtis, but it's possible.
He's usually back in a minute or two.
He's like, I didn't know this was going to be this long. I'm out. Like, what do you? What do you think? Oh, like maybe someone would contact, but it's not easy. It's not like it's easy to just call you on the phone and say, "Hey, we need you to come look at this." But
our home base is Bettleby Ridge, right? So if
it
we're
will
there
be,
and we're housed there, okay. So Avitus, if they are asked to do a job, he might do that if it keeps a contact within the military there.
Yeah, that's something we would cover in play. I think if someone knew, like maybe there probably is a specific title for someone who knows a bunch of languages. I don't know, translator or something, but we'll just put a translatoress at the end of it. Then it sounds like Latin. Oh, I'm glad that's a dead language.
I still like Scribe. Scribe would still be fine.
Scribus.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So how did the Kaldorans avoid the Mabishal sort of incursion or invasion? How did they avoid getting destroyed?
They didn't avoid it. They were just one of the strongest cultures at the time.
Did they fight them off?
No, they would have helped join the others, but their society was structured in a way that maybe they came back from it faster.
Okay.
So they rose up afterwards, didn't survive through it.
Yeah. They did, because all the known world pretty much came up to get rid of them. That's kind of the idea. So,
right.
I haven't looked at it that much, but that's something that we could.
Leaders, they weren't leaders during the time of the Mabishi. They were just they were alive, obviously, and then but after the overthrow of the evil overlord, they rose to power. It sounds like.
Yeah, more quickly than a lot of other cultures.
So are any of the ruins in the north, maybe this is something for gameplay too, any of the ruins in the north tied to the Mabishal Empire, or we don't know that at this point?
Yeah, you wouldn't know unless you're specifically you want that to be something that you want, like you maybe have. I did not prepare that, so don't do that right now. But like maybe you're trying to piece together some information that you had gotten in some ancient tomes or something of something that exists there, right? And you could be looking for information about that up here. That could be something that you're trying to do. Because I asked everyone to try and, I like the group to know each other. That's why I asked you to create a bond with one other character. I think that character conflict on a lower level is good, but I don't like character fighting as much, because I feel like that you guys are going to be screwed if you do that, because it's going to be deadly enough that if you don't have everyone, the more people you have, the better off you're going to be. So, but I don't think there's anything like if you have some individual goals that aren't the same as your companions, I think that's good. So,
okay.
I think
hear that, Dan? No knives in the back.
I would prefer that, but it still happens sometimes. Yeah.
So if anything, we have that camaraderie of being in the Legion together. However, we do know one or two people from the group a little bit better than.
I've probably healed everybody here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
that
like,
could.
It's like looking in an office.
And that's Jesus Christ. My phone is going nuts baggy. Sorry about that. All right, so yeah, I guess does anyone have anything else? And we'll fill in more of the background and stuff like that as we go. That's usually, and I mean, if we have to tweak something or whatever, that's cool too. Does anyone have any questions about any of the stuff?
Nope.
So do you guys think you all came? Well, why don't we maybe give some visuals to look at? All right, we're on the tabletop.
Wait.
So I should say this art is on that zine, and this is my cousin Hawk, who I was giving crap before. That's what this art is from. So I have a couple handouts that might help you. So this is my map of the known world.
We just lost 2 people.
Oh, geez. We lost 2 people where?
No, never mind. Now they're all gone.
The audience, they hate maps. I've heard that Twitch viewers do not like maps at all. It just pisses them right off.
It's possible. It's possible. All right, so on here you can see
Very
Oh,
waste.
there's Roaring.
up here is Roar and up here. So it's like this middle area here with this being Keldor. So this is where the Mibishi. This over here is Kalmata.
We don't actually see any of your pointiness because it's a handout and not a map.
Yeah, you're not going to
That's
see it.
fine.
You're right. I forgot. On Twitch, they would see it. You're correct. It's
I
a
see
handout.
Right.
All right. So that it kind of just gives you an idea. So the known world is really mostly the area around this inner sea here.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but maybe I'll have someone do a nice map at some point.
I'm enjoying the area off Mibishi, which is penciled and not yet colored in. Obviously, there's something important there that we haven't quite figured out.
Like I said, that little island, couple of islands off of Mibishi
Underwater ruins. Oh,
is like probably kind of
Is
where
that Kalmata?
Kalmata is. Yeah.
oh, cool. I was looking south of Mibishi where there's the underwater ruins.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
Maybe.
Pretty sweet.
Under-
Now,
Undersea caverns.
is this a map? Is this a map or something like this that our characters would ever have seen, or do we really just have sort of vague understanding that there's this place over there and that place over there?
I would say vague understanding, but I mean, you're in the Legion.
Okay.
I don't even know what the Legion has really been doing. There are some things that
We
happen.
usually walk to Uthen once.
So, because there are beastmen, different types of beastmen that are around. Usually, beastmen are considered to be created in the Spell Wars back in a long time ago, and now they have their own cultures. They usually have some kind of animal that a man was mixed with. In this area, the
What's the
beastmen. Go ahead.
Scale on this map.
What's that?
Sorry, what's the scale on this map? What's the scale on this map? So, like, Rorn to Keldor, is that hours or days or weeks?
Quite a while. I don't know. And so if we were to, because Rorn really is Keldor, really. There is no Rorn necessarily anymore. It's all
Okay, so then for Cregan to Keldor,
a long
from like
time.
north to south, Cregan,
I don't know.
but
I
like
don't,
months or like weeks?
no, more like
Okay.
weeks.
Weeks, okay.
Yeah, probably weeks. But this is a rough area. Here, I'll give you. This is what I do.
No, I'm just trying to get a sense of, like, would it make sense for us to have heard of Ulthrim or Kugarta? Or, I mean, Kugarta is like 6 months away. So that one person may have been there, like that's sort of, that would be a huge journey to get to Kugarta, it
Yes.
sounds like, or to Presh.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Well, look at that. There's a fancy map.
Yeah, here is the fancy map. So you can only barely see the hexes, but these are about 1 mile hexes.
Okay. Ads.
So
this is local. This is stuff we know well.
not well, because you guys have just come here.
Okay.
So this area here, oh, I even have some stuff marked off in here. Let's see. All right. But you guys would have known some of this. So Bettleby Ridge was once, or still is, it was a fort, and it still is kind of a fort, but it has more of a population that has grown up around it than maybe some other places have. Like Fort Ads. So this road is like the North Marches Road where some trade happens. So caravans occasionally and travelers do travel this road, but it is a dangerous road. So the areas that are marked on the map, that too. Fort Ads, which is among the these are called the Arms Reach Mountains. They kind of create a pretty big mountainous area far to the north. As you can see, I have the majority of this is what I have is like some random tables, and that's about it. So this area would be called like the Lower Arms Reach here. This is a valley called the Cut. Gonar's Cut. This is Fort Ads. So you guys probably would have known this. You might have traveled this path before. So this is just pretty much a fort, whereas Bettleby Ridge is actually like a town that has, or an outpost. So north of here is the Wilds. This is the Mizzle Moor, kind of an acidic moor, very dangerous, but also known for its the rare, unique plants that grow there. I could actually read it to you guys. You guys want me to read something to you? You want some box text about these areas?
Oh, sweet, yeah.
All right.
Sure.
So the Mizzle Moor is an expanse of brackish water. Pockets of rush and reed dot the landscape. From somewhere deep underground, a noxious gas makes its way to the surface, bubbling out like the rancid, fetid breath of some imprisoned evil beast. It hangs above the surface in a perpetual ochre fog that stinks of sulfur and brimstone. A nigh constant drizzle, ubiquitous and drifting amidst the tightened fog, wets small islands of solid ground. Sickly tufts of withered brown grass and the occasional grove of blackwood trees stand in minor triumph, albeit dark and twisted, having evolved in this brutal landscape. The moor is full of unique and rare plants indigenous only to the Mizzle, ripe for the picking for those brave, willing, and foolish enough to explore the deadly tract. The flora's resilience is a warning to the adaptability of the other denizens of the moor, such as howling packs of moorhounds, unpredictable Jurna birds, the ghastly withered, and other horrors.
I'm going to stay away from that gassy wizard.
All right.
That's cool.
So we're going to San Diego. That sounds nice, right?
So I think almost everyone has some stuff that their characters are interested in. And here is a handout to Bettleby Ridge. With mapping by the great Matt Jackson. But mostly to mess with Matt, and because this is the way I roll, I made what he calls photorealistic map of Bettleby Ridge. So I put your characters down there.
Wow,
Sweet.
Cool.
Nice.
Oh, shit.
What?
Taking away our agency, man.
What do you mean?
Putting our tokens on the map? I mean, come on, what if I want to be in front?
What Well, you can put your character wherever you want on there. It's just there. So what I'm kind of
There's a
picturing
donkey in the
is,
way.
do you guys, maybe you guys came here at different times or whatever, but no one's been here for more than a week, and all of you should have a reason to be here. But once you meet up with each other, that's when you can decide what you want to do. So as far as inns go, this is the Spiral Lion right here. It would be better if I did this. That's the Spiral Lion. And then another tavern is up in this corner up here. And that's the Raptor's Beak. This is the Legatus compound up here. The whole ridge was built on this abutment here, so it's kind of a raised area, so it goes up 15 feet. Like it looks like it possibly was man-made, but it was long enough ago that no human probably did it. But maybe they could do that, I guess, if they got it from somewhere. And then there's a taller area where the compound is farther up. This is a wooden palisade with wooden towers armed with ballista. This area over here is like a caravan place where caravans come through enough, and this is close enough to the tradeway that they often stop here. That the townsfolk actually have permanent stands set up out there where people can buy stuff, so they don't have to come into town if they don't want to. There is a mark.
This entry road here is kind of steep uphill because you said this is a wall. The whole thing is a raised, like this is not a wall but a bluff, right?
Yes.
Actually the land is higher on the inside.
Yep.
So this goes up to come into town.
Yep.
Cool.
And then the compound inside is also higher up?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. I do have a tale of Bettleby Ridge, I believe. Maybe not. Maybe this isn't that good. Maybe we'll use it later. So, I think this is the place where we might discuss what it is your characters intend to do. I don't know. I don't know if everyone has it. So, as far as Curtis goes, I believe that you may have heard more specifically for your individual concept or what you wanted to do. You have heard that that maybe an outreach of your distant family is in Bettleby Ridge or has been there. Okay. We should probably give him a name.
Agatha.
All right. So that's for you. Does anyone else need anything else that they don't already have? Like, Dan, do you know what you're doing here?
I'm pretty sure I was investigating a disturbance or rumors that came to me, and I brought my scribe with me, and we're probably somewhere in a healer's hut, helping people out, and probably reading about the area, reading about the something that's going on here.
So there really isn't a healer's hut. So there is a chaplain in the compound who works for the legatus. But they probably would have a shrine of some sort somewhere.
If they don't, they will by the time I leave.
All right, good. So this is kind of a market area right here, up in here, and maybe some stuff back in here. But this is a raised area by this tree. It's like about 5 feet high, a wooden platform with like some kind of throne nearby. And you pretty quickly learn that that's called where the legatus puts out like his punishments and holds his court. So I have a name for it in here somewhere.
Sounds like the hanging tree.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So most of the people of power are going to be Caldoran in town. That's what you're used to. Ravilla's Court, located in what's considered the town square, is a hillock with an 8 foot by 8 foot raised wooden platform. A tall, rough-hewn post, easily the size of a man's waist, was erected in the pavilion. Spikes are driven into the post at various heights and then bent into hooks. I think I was considering doing a scene of someone being there, but I thought that might be an issue, so I didn't do that. Anyhow, there's a bunch of different people that live in town. Almost anything that you would be looking for, you could find. I think what we should do is, what is it you guys are interested in? Obviously, Coulson might ask around for Agatha. And we've decided. So do you think that you would have tried to get into the compound?
Yeah, I think so.
Daedalus? I don't think Coulson would.
No.
You wouldn't, but Daedalus might be able to hang out at the Legatus's compound.
I'm Caldoran born, and I am probably more hang with the nobles.
So, yeah, the nobilities would be the praetors, and probably up here there aren't going to be a bunch of them, but the Legatus definitely would be, and maybe his quote unquote court.
Yeah, I would expect. I picture Daedalus as he's expecting. He's expecting people to expect him. He's wanted everywhere. You know, he serves the nobility, and he serves their court, and he helps them out, and he's just in the hierarchy.
All right. So I think I put in here that there was. Go ahead.
No, I did my time in the Legion, and that's all I did. Once my Legion time was over, I left, and then I went back to a more comfortable life, learning and praying, and but I've always felt comfortable.
Yeah, there's like going to be a shrine area in the compound. There should be something out here, but I think there is also this consideration that this close to the border, the northern frontier, there is a lot of intermingling that has gone on over the past few generations between Nordborn and Rorn, and so some of the gods that they worship, they still hold faith to the old faith in some ways, and you worship the new gods, even though the new gods have been around for centuries. They're still in the hidden areas and on the frontiers. There are those humans who still follow the ways of the old gods. So that could be why there isn't an actual shrine here or anything.
What is it? Aminar? Is that how you pronounce it? Aminar?
Yep. Arkin Aminar.
Yeah. He, being law and order in the sun, and that's who I follow. And
you could certainly do anything any of the new gods do. It's not like you're gonna get in a fight with those of Navarius or something like that, right? the common person is going to whatever he wants at the time, he's going to give to that particular patron. But you can certainly feel that Arkin is your saint, so to speak, or the person that you're the most connected to. I was pretty sure I did these 20 questions of the campaign. And I thought that there was something in here about a cleric, but I don't see whatever it is. So I guess we will ignore that for now.
I'm just trying to picture myself as he's kind of feels entitled, and everywhere he goes, he's always usually produced with comfort, and he feels that his station is a lot higher than it actually is.
All right.
And then he gets into trouble from that.
All right. So for now, we'll say that he's hanging. You guys are at the Raptor's Beacon because that's where the higher up people go.
Yeah. Anywhere they would hang out.
Yeah, that's the Raptor's Beak up there.
Bad
And
case of
Hobbs.
cleric privilege.
Yeah.
In the 20 questions, you have a thing about magical healing. And there's Ira Highwell, the local herbalist, and there's also Megan Vitoris, the Caldoran's chaplain.
That's who I was thinking of, this Megan person. I thought there was one. So yeah, Megan is the chaplain. So she would be in the compound area, which you may have to have some station. It probably depends. If you wanted to go and visit the Legatus, that would probably be a reaction roll or something as far as that goes. I thought I was almost positive they had done something like that. All right. So what about, so we talked about Coulson. We haven't really talked about Aophis and Dintavis at this point.
So I'm thinking Dintavis is freshly discharged from the Legion, that he'd been working the northern frontier, and he came back maybe even only briefly to Fort Adds, or came to Fort Adds briefly as sort of part of his discharge. Like that was just his exit point. And then he came down here to the ridge, basically looking for work. He's fresh off fresh out of the armed forces and needs a job. He's well equipped, but kind of broke, and he's probably been here a day or two, drinking as he sort of before getting around to. He hasn't yet gotten up or he's not broke enough yet to have actively looked for work, but yeah, I think so. He's hanging out at the Raptor's Beacon, enjoying life, and but thinking that pretty soon he better find either a patron or employment or something like that.
Nice. What about Aophis? Aophis? How do you pronounce it?
Aphos.
Aphos. All right. Nice.
Yep. So I've got out of the Legion, and sorry, switching all sorts of things here. And Avitas, is that how you say your character's name, Robert?
Yep.
Avitas. Okay, Avitas and I became pretty good friends in the Legion. Hanging out with him, kind of following around. I need to. My family, Ronick born, have started to get uneasy with the current circumstances, but yet don't want to form a rebellion, and have a legitimate business of trying to form a thieves guild underneath the eyes of the government. And so I am on this, going with Avitas after my Legion duties to gain experience to come back into what you want to call the family business. And if he is going to be Dirtilus the scribe, I guess that kind of fits my thoughts as well, because it seems like he would need some extra information and help getting out of some maybe his troubles. Be a little bit observant, kind of figure myself as kind of quiet, quick to observe, very observant of others. I did have a question on the deities. Pull this up real quick. Just thinking of a deity. I'm not sure how much my family really would, but kind of looking at and again, where you can tell me, as far as a deity that my family may follow, I was thinking of the how do you say Khalifa, the Lady of Fortune, goddess of wealth and protector.
Mm-hmm. Khalifa, that's what I say.
Dead. Okay. Just because our family is very family history rich. We honor our dead, take care of those who've come before us. They've built what we have, and repay the debt type thing. So that's how I kind of look at it. I'll kind of see if, I know Dirtless Avitas, but kind of hang off into the shadows a little bit and kind of listen and help out when they need me.
So the Raptor's beak is going to be kind of the higher end, but you guys are all Keldoran, so that's okay. But sometimes the travelers and stuff usually go to the Spiral Lion. But so yeah, you're going to see like off-duty Optios and different levels of what people would consider like NCOs or something at the Raptor's beak, but they'll hit both of them. But if you certainly want to see more Rornik or those who are likely businessmen around town that aren't Keldoran are probably going to be at the Spiral Lion. So you would have heard another one of the things that brought you here is the Forum Tenebris, which is like a dark market. It is said to be happening in the area around Bettleby Ridge, so that might be something you want to look into.
Yeah, and that was on the 20 questions. Is there any secret societies with sinister agendas I could join and or fight? I kind of figured that trying to not join, but to get to know and then expose in a secret way so that I gain that knowledge and trust, but yet not being able to give up, and maybe lure to my agenda or side, I guess. Does that make sense? So that fits in with the dark market.
Okay, so that's certainly something that you may be trying to find out about.
Okay.
So where do we want? So who was it that Dintavis knows, Edwin?
So I'm thinking that
Could be anybody.
Very least, what?
It could be any of these guys from the Legion, but one of them.
At the very least, I think that at the very least, Dirtless would have stood out at the Raptor's beak as somebody that might know people that could hire him. People who he knows people with money. So I think there probably would have been I think maybe I recognize Dirtless from before. We worked together at some point, and so I've been talking to him in the hopes that at some point when he hears that one of the rich people that he's friends with is looking for a caravan guard or a bodyguard or who knows what, that there's a little connection there. What is Avitus here doing here?
Avitus? I am here.
Avitus. Did I put it wrong on the chat? Let me see here. How did you spell it?
I don't know.
I
I'm only reading his thing.
I did. That's why I was confused because I spelled it wrong.
Too many channels going on right now.
Yeah, I would be here because I would be the scribe for Dirtless. That would at least be the primary reason for being here, and me and Athos have formed a bond. The other thing that I would be trying to do, like I had said earlier, is making my services available, at least in terms of knowledge of languages, to the legatus.
So maybe I actually asked you to send a letter for me at some point, or to write a letter for me and send it. If you're a scribe hanging out at the inn,
okay,
that would be a thing to do.
So do you think that Dirtless attempted to check in with the chaplain or the legatess at this point, or not at all? Or maybe at some point they would come to look for you. So basically what I usually do is I usually try to have a few things that you could be interested in. So obviously the Forum Tenebris is something that one of the guys are interested in. There is you do learn that the chaplain, under the legatess's request, would like. There is a place called the Weeping Man in the cliffs north of the Bettleby Ridge, overlooking the Mizzle Moor, that some people feel is a holy place, and pilgrims sometimes go there. But the last pilgrimage has never returned.
That tale would definitely draw me out. And then I would look into a benefactor who might be able to secure some additional help to go out there.
So that is something I'm pretty sure that I have a bunch of notes about it somewhere, but I think why don't you make a reaction roll? So a reaction roll is 2d6 and it's modified by your charisma. And a lot of times I use reaction rolls just to see maybe how a conversation, what it's like when it starts. It doesn't mean that you can't ever come out of it, but that's how it is when it starts.
And I add this all up.
There should be a reaction roll. You just click it on your sheet.
Dang it. I was hoping to roll actual dice.
No, I make everyone roll on. I'm wicked that way. I know.
Yeah, thank you.
Reaction.
Hey, Jerry. What's up, buddy?
Will you be doing spot hidden rolls?
No.
Alright, can you give
Okay.
me a clue on reaction is on the character sheet?
All right, let me look here.
Con, XP, strength.
Let's look at your
On the-
character. Dirtless character sheet. Did you find it?
No.
Oh. BAB unarmored initiative. See, I used to use a super old sheet. All right, just roll 2d6. Your charisma is +1 or +2?
My
15
charisma
is
is +2.
1. 15, I think, is +1.
+2.
It is +2?
I just found out you can do a control F in the character sheet, but it means also I saw that reaction doesn't show up on there.
What's
That's kinda
control
cool.
F? Is that a search?
Yeah, a find.
Find.
Yeah,
Oh.
control F or Apple Command F.
I had a 7
kinda
on the dice, and I'm pretty sure wisdom 16 is +2.
Yeah, it's not wisdom, though. It's charisma.
Oh, charisma, then it would be a +1.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So that's pretty good.
So that says 8.
So at some point while the chaplain, the official chaplain of Bettleby Ridge, is here with his underlings and they are maybe drinking and mixing, Megan comes off and pulls you to the side, Dirtless, and mentions that the real reason that it's important is because Praetor Intivis, his daughter, a wayward child, was amongst the group. So it could be a good reward for finding him, if you could.
Yeah, and I can definitely do that. I just need some upfront funds to hire some people to help me out.
Some upfront funds. The chaplain seems taken aback.
So I'm like, I don't have that money in my pocket, but I need to help. Like, look at me, I can't go alone. I need to hire some people
I
to.
don't even have any armor.
Yeah,
Well, that's a very, very nice, expensive robe you got there, and your hair is perfect.
only the best robe. But
The first televangelist.
I think you'd have to go pretty far back in history. It wouldn't be a televangelist, I guess, but
Yeah.
She looks around, and perhaps you could find people more interested with the money you have at the Spiral Lion. But you could take this bag of. She hands you over 25 gold pieces.
That's pretty good.
I'll wink at her and say, I'll go to the Spiral Lion.
You wink. What the? All right.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to pocket half of this. I don't know.
Man, I know I wrote something about this. I just don't remember where the hell I wrote it.
What religion are you again?
I'm an R. I'm a lawful, so I'm not going to steal the money, but I'm looking for money to help hire. Let me get everybody's names straight. Mr. Hobbs, Aphos, Avatar, Edwin, and Coulson. So it's not Edwin.
There's
Yeah,
no
Edwin-
Avatar. I think you mean Avitas.
Yeah,
Avitas.
I'm looking for money to hire everybody. To give them a reason to go.
So where is the daughter missing? I didn't catch that part.
They're not sure where she is, but she was headed to the Weeping Man.
And what's the Weeping Man again?
The Weeping Man is a location in the cliffs north of the ridge, overlooking the Mizzle Moor that some pilgrims travel to.
Okay, and that's the reason why she was going, because she's a pilgrim.
Yes, she had joined this group against the wishes of her father.
So I would step up, because me and Daedalus have a connection, and say to the chaplain, would there be anyone who would have something against the pilgrims?
The chaplain is taken aback once again. Well, they are pilgrims. Surely no one would mess with them, but it's possible beastmen or creatures from the Mizzlemore. I don't really know.
Look at anything about the Mizzlemore.
Right here, because the Mizzlemore is right here. It's right along the edge.
Yeah, that's the one with the gaseous wizard.
Yeah, but you didn't tell me I was going to be going into the Mizzlemore. That's going to require more than my hired
Well,
car.
no, it sounds like we can stay out of the Mizzlemore, right? But
okay.
it's near it.
Let's near it, then, yeah.
The pilgrims wouldn't have gone in there. At least not on purpose.
Were they accompanied by any guards?
Nope.
Which means a kidnapping attempt on the daughter is not out of the question.
The pilgrims have been going here for generations, but occasionally they do go lost. But most times that is of little import, but this time is a little different.
I think my character, knowing the bond that Vitas and I have created, I just simply stand behind him, touch his shoulder. He knows that I'm going to just slip away and go find information.
And I've been asking all over town. No one knows the whereabouts of Martha. So she may have gone with the pilgrims to go and
especially since her name was Agatha.
Sorry, Agatha.
Yeah,
Sorry. That's her twin. See, no wonder I can't find anyone.
Oh my goodness!
Can't remember her name.
Well, she's only distant cousin.
Great side.
So,
Yeah,
where does Aphis look for information, and how? What are you thinking? How does that work?
So right now we're up by the chaplain by the Raptor's Beak. Did you see that? Or did we? Okay. So I think I would first go down just to being a new face in town. I think I would go down to the other tavern and sit and observe who's there, who's maybe have drank a little bit and who likes to talk, see who's got the loudest voice there, and approach them and try to just find out any investigations about the Weeping Man and the Last Pilgrimage.
All right, so that's cool. What is Coulson? Have you? Did you say you were hanging at the Spiral Lion, or are you hanging at the Raptor's Beak with the others?
I'm probably Spiral Iron. I don't have much cash. Unlike some people.
All right.
Besides, I'm trying to get information on my missing kinsmen. So the people up there probably wouldn't know an awful lot.
Why don't you roll? Why don't you make a reaction roll and see how the people have responded?
Okay, reactions 2d6?
Yep.
Or 10?
Oh, that's good, man. Do you have a charisma bonus or modifier?
Oh, let's see. Charisma. Do I? I don't think so. 12 doesn't give you anything, right?
Oh, just a bit outside. You missed it by that much, sir.
Yeah.
I think. Oh yeah, look at this.
He's coming up.
You can even see what the Spiral Lion looks like on the inside there. Oh, maybe not because I didn't let it go. Yeah, I better not. Oh, I know what I better not. I actually made it so I could take that off and show you what it looks like inside, but I'd probably jack up this whole map if I did it. So that's a pretty good roll. So I think that you may have made not necessarily friends, but at least some sort of connection with the innkeeper. What's his name? Let me look in this book and see if it shows up. The problem with me making this is that I don't have numbers anymore to go by. What is this, number 19? It is number 19, guys. Oh, here it is, Rice. His name is Rice.
Rice?
Yeah. I'll put it in the chat for you. He's obviously a Rornick man of average height and slightly portly. A round face, brown hair, and a quick smile. You learn that he and his family have had the Spiral Lion for 3 generations. And when you ask about the Weeping Man, he has a few things to say.
Ah.
Oh, you didn't ask about the Weeping Man. Never mind. You asked about Agatha. That's right. You asked about Martha. I forgot who was asking what here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he says that he's not sure. Like, what do you say? What do you know about? This is only a distant relative, so you don't even necessarily know that much about them, right?
Yeah. No.
Like he says, most often people come and go, and they stay here occasionally. There was a manly drunk woman. I don't remember her name, but she certainly seemed a foreigner, and she talked with a distinct dislike towards the Nordborn, something about her and her family's shack in the woods being attacked and being driven out. I think she took up work with the herbalist.
Okay. Herbalist.
Ira.
Right, that's Ira. Yeah, Ira. Great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. I've been traveling as far, trying the scattered remnants of my family, or any sign of them, for that matter.
So we can say that Aphos shows up as Coulson seems to be getting this information from the smiling, portly innkeep.
Okay.
I'm assuming you maybe have seen Coulson. I can't remember who Coulson knew.
No, I'd met Dirtless along on the road, on the dirty road here. Been traveling with him for a while. When he deigns to notice me when the nobles aren't around.
I'm slumming it.
So if he traveled with us, then I would recognize Coulson.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would recognize Coulson.
All right. So, just out of, knowing him, I'd probably just walk up and ask, how easy is the innkeeper to speak with?
Oh, real easy. Not a problem. Why? What do you need?
Innkeeper stuff.
Some pillows, extra towels.
My spa open. So.
Okay, I'll wave to Rice. Say, do you have a moment, sir? My friend here has some need of, I guess, information.
Oh, what sort?
I just new in town and hearing rumors of a pilgrimage to the Weeping Man. Interested to make a pilgrimage myself, but it seems to be cursed. Do you have any information on how to make a proper pilgrimage to the Weeping Man and avoid any tragedy?
Oh, I can't say I'm of the religious sort. I pay my dues to the church, of course, but beyond that, I'm no pilgrim. Besides, it's dangerous to the north where the Weeping Man lies. He is a shape, a face in the rock, always weeping, saddened by the view across the Mizzle Moor. There is a trail, but it's dangerous. And the pilgrims had slowed down, but there was one a week ago, perhaps. Maybe a bit more. A fine lass with them, but they are all mopey, didn't drink much. Spent most of their time at that other place, if you know what I'm saying.
So any precautions on the trail? Should I take extra stuff? What makes the trail so dangerous?
The usual beastmen, bandits, giant raptors. Just kidding about the raptor part.
Is there anybody else in the inn that has successfully gone and came back?
Not right now.
How long of a journey is it?
A few days, I think. Let me look.
Well, I'll sit and have a drink, and if you notice anyone, please let me know.
And I'd definitely be drinking a little bit, and I'd look over. I'm like, "Hey, Coulson, Aventus, can you believe they paid me in advance for this expedition that I don't even know what we're doing?"
Well, I think you're still up at the Raptor's Beak, though.
Yeah, he's talking to. Oh yeah. He. I think he meant Dintavis,
and it would be Dirtless.
I thought Aventus and Coulson were there, but no.
No, Coulson and Aphos went to. Yeah.
Right.
Everyone ends in this. Yeah, the Spiral Lion. But we can go over there. So Dintavis, you did know Dirtless, you said, but you are there with Avitus if you guys want to talk about it or have anything you want to say. It's a good time for it, I think.
At the Raptor's Beak, right?
Yep, the Raptor's Beak.
Into this, I thought was the Raptor's Beak. Yeah. And Avitus is there also?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I think
I'm
is the
drinking
chaplain
alone.
still there?
Do you want him to be?
Well, I would ask, is there another pilgrimage going to the Weeping Man anytime soon?
Not that he's aware of. They've been kind of curtailed as things have gotten more dangerous. The beastmen seem to be more prolific and dangerous. And there've been rumors from the Brandy Burrow. The Walking Dead attacked it. And
Why has Legatus sent out troops?
the troops here at the ridge are few and far between, and we must keep them here to protect Bettleby Ridge. Of course, the Legatus's thoughts and ideas are his own.
So why do people consider it holy? Just because it looks like a weeping man? That's it?
That would be Rice. He said he's not sure, but
Yeah,
I think
miracles? No.
there is talk of a spring in a cave nearby that can aid with unalienable ills.
Ooh.
Did you have any more questions, Avidus?
I would ask, does the Legatus would he provide perhaps a reward if we bring back the daughter?
So the guy only told Daedalus about the daughter.
Okay.
'Cause he wouldn't be talking to the scribe, but this is kind of more of a secret thing. But he did say that the praetor, the father, would give a reward. It might be, who knows what the reward would be. It could be wealth. It could be prestige. It could, maybe a favor in the future or something like that. Certainly, I have notes on exactly what he is, but I don't know what it is. So.
But of the group that went with the daughter, she was the most prominent.
That's the only reason these guys even care, is because that daughter was with them. So this praetor probably sent a messenger or maybe a man or two here to Bettleby Ridge, and then they got in contact with maybe with the Legatus or maybe straight to the chaplain, and then they came here when they heard about a traveling priest of Aminar being around or something with his own entourage. He didn't know how many people you had or anything like that, or she didn't when she came here. This is just one of the many things that is happening in Bettleby Ridge. So
Sure.
There's also the talk of this attack on the Brandy Burrow, which if you ask about it, it's like an old inn that's been around for generations to the southwest. They also make like a very popular honey mead.
That's interesting, right? This attack. Huh.
And Hobbs, would I already know anything about the witch that you had mentioned in the 20 questions, or would I not know that yet?
What do you think?
It seems like we just got here, so I don't know if I would know that at this point, unless
You might have been
she
here
has
for
a reputation.
a few days. Probably has more of a reputation with the Rornick folk than she
Okay.
would the Kaldorans. The Kaldorans have kind of a funny. The only magic that they even really want to be around would be their own battle mages in the Legion.
Sure.
Otherwise, they're not fond of magic. In fact, on the western coast in a major city, there was a rebellion that was put down very heavily, and there's rumors that kind of spread through the Legion of how horrible it was and how they sent the Justicars in, and it was a bloody mess, and maybe quite a few people who weren't necessarily wizards or sorcerers of any sort were killed in the slums of I don't remember what the town's called, but you would know what the town is. I have it somewhere. So they don't necessarily.
So I would assume
like
over
it.
these. Sure, I would assume over these days I would have spent some time also in the Spiral Lion and maybe just asked, or if I heard anything like people talking about this witch, where is she? Why is she referred to as a witch?
Why don't you make a reaction roll and see what happened? So /R2d6 modified by charisma. I can't believe there's not a reaction roll on there. Someone ought to add that. You're probably a pro user, Edwin. You can probably add that, right?
I am not. I've not worked on the
Character
not done
sheets
any
at
of
all.
the API stuff.
I have not done any of that yet.
Yeah.
So it popped up in the chat.
Oh, nice. Do you have a charisma modifier?
I don't.
Basically, she's a half-breed witch that trucks with Nordborn and Rorns and the Keldorans. So far, have steered clear and haven't brought down any wrath, any Justicar wrath on her because of a fear of retribution from the populace, because she seems to help people.
And she lives outside of the ridge.
Outside of the ridge, yeah. Yeah, she lives in the hills to the north.
How does she stay safe if it's so dangerous out here?
I don't know. Maybe it isn't that dangerous.
No one knows.
Yeah. You're talking to townsfolk, they don't like to go outside because it's dangerous. That's one more reason that she's some kind of barbarian who hangs out there.
But in this, the hills are what direction in reference to the Weeping Man?
Sort of on the way.
Okay.
That's a pretty good roll, so it's possible that you have decent directions to a way, take a ride at the broken tree and look for 3 rocks and jump over the creek, and then you'll find the witch's hovel. So you have a decent way of finding it.
Okay.
You could probably find it if it wasn't in the middle of a fight or a storm or undue stress. You could probably find wherever this witch hangs out.
Well, when our group has a chance to sort of reconvene, I will at least mention that to some of our folks that she's in that location. I don't know if she would have any knowledge for us. Maybe she would.
You also would learn that the herbalist, if you're looking for that sort of thing, that the herbalist might have, tinctures or a way to deal with what ails you, if that's what you want. If you don't want to deal with some half-breed witch, that's who you should go to. Ire.
Yeah, I was thinking more of like information about what is roaming these sort of badlands that could have possibly intercepted the pilgrims.
The general consensus would probably be beastmen.
Beastmen.
Yeah. Or some new danger on the Pilgrim's Trail that the people in the ridge don't really know about. But they are worried because of the rumors coming from Brandy Burrow.
And are the beastmen likely to take prisoners? Do we know that?
It's possible. They could have been attacked by Nordborn, Krians too.
Okay, right. And has Belly Ridge ever come under attack from either the Beastmen or the Nordborns? Would we know that?
Not in the last generation. Not probably
Okay.
since, but it's possible. I mean, that's always a concern. Edwin, do you have anything that you would want to be working towards, or any thoughts or anything? It seems like you guys are interested. This is what you're interested in following up on.
I think so. We got some money
this
already,
sounds,
right?
This sounds like a fine adventure. I mean, he's mostly interested in finding something to do that, and I think this sounds like a thing to do, and it's sort of up his alley, going out out of town and being useful. So yeah, that sounds great.
All right. So is that what you guys want to do? Next session is head out of town and look for the Weeping Man and these lost pilgrims.
It sounds like the lead that we're all following right now.
Okay.
So yeah.
Alrighty. Is
It will help,
I
it
would
will help
definitely
keep
like to-
Dictivus from going broke.
Yeah, I wanted to get everybody together definitely, and kind of call up my group and say, hey, I've already been prepaid to find the and I gotta go back to my notes. To find this, to find the daughter and let everybody know.
Traitor Intivis's daughter, who must have a name.
Yeah.
Daughter
Yeah.
is the name.
I'm positive she does have a name.
So
The
I
answer
think
is
Most of
yeah.
these people do, especially these nobles.
Gala?
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, that's where we're headed. Gala.
So far we have Gala, and Gala. That's what I was thinking, Gala, actually, but, whatever. All right. What about you, Curtis? Is there anything else you wanted to follow up on before you join up with your old legionary pals and head off into the wilds searching for the Weeping Man?
I'd probably go talk to Era.
All right. What do you want to do with Era?
Basically, I just want to ask her about this. Whoa. Okay. Ask her about this woman. This woman that supposedly came to her for work. A sturdy woman that hated the Nordfolk, the Nordborn.
She and a few others went into the Mizzlemore seeking some reagents yesterday. They haven't returned, which isn't necessarily a good thing.
Did the woman say anything else about her background? I'm looking for remnants of my scattered family.
So Era is the guy with her. Seems like a mute, but he's not talking or anything. He just is a hulking figure of indeterminate genealogy, as well as Era is the same. I think that we'll say that she did talk with her and offered her some tea when they discussed what the profession was be. So this woman Era is actually quite stunning with auburn hair. Her mixed blood is obvious from the different, I guess that would be inobvious. It's hard to tell what culture that she's originally from. She has no accent or anything like that would show where she is from. She seems pretty brisk and professional and knowledgeable about many things. Even while you were there, you would see runners come in from, important people like important members of the Legion and their townfolk come in for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So she seems like a pretty good person who helps a lot in the Ridge. And she said that they had tea, and she did talk about an anger toward the Iron Shields, which is a tribe of Kriegans. She says disrupted her family's estate or something. And she got the impression that she was actually a chem. She kind of had spoke that with that accent a little bit.
Did she say what clan she was from?
Whatever clan it is that you are from.
Okay. Basically, I'm looking for Agatha of the House of Zephyr. Her name was Agatha?
Yeah, her name was Agatha.
Ah, okay. Well, it might be. I thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay. I mean, would you be interested in going to look for her? Because I still need those reagents.
Yeah, me and my friends, we were actually going to go look for the missing pilgrims, and so the Mizzlemore is right near there. So yes, I'll go ahead and take a look.
Well, I mean, where she wanted you to.
Yeah.
So he could. That's fine. Well, you were talking about the Weeping Man to him. So, but and this could have been after you guys talked. I mean, I'm not going to be too worried about it. So it's less than a day's travel to where she's asking you to go to in the Mizzlemore.
Okay.
But it's been over a day, and she doesn't feel too confident about Agatha for being gone that long in the Mizzlemore.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so when I meet up with the guys, I'll tell them, basically, since we probably sit around and shoot the shit, so tell them how my quest goes and that I've got a lead and takes me over by the Mizzlemore.
So it sounds like your first character is dead and you're not even playing her yet. Well, you've already lost a character.
So you guys actually
that's pretty good.
So this Agatha is, I don't know how you feel about it. This would be up to you. But the Mizzlemore or the Weeping Man is going to be, might be a few days before you guys would return if you went looking there. So if she's already worried about her being gone for a day, then waiting for a week before you went into the Mizzlemore looking for Agatha could certainly be bad for this burly lady that we don't know. It's had no camera time whatsoever.
Right.
It's not necessarily on the way.
No, it's like off to the east or west.
It's to the west.
I've already been paid to find Gala.
But you weren't given any particular timeline, were you?
No, not really.
But it's several days away, and she's missing, right?
For her.
Yeah, that's several days away. And my quest is basically only 1 day away.
Less.
Well, we've been looking for months, right? I mean,
that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's right. That's right. The girl, the praetor's daughter, she's been gone for months. Another day or two is not going to hurt.
No, he was saying that you've been looking at
Agatha. Agatha.
Oh,
you've probably been looking for your family for months or years,
They say we split up. Some of us go to the Weeping Man, some of us go to the Mizzlemore.
That'll be great.
Perfect.
And one other group go and vanquish the witch, right?
Yep. Hey, I'm not looking to vanquish the witch. I think she might have some information, and who knows what else.
Yeah.
So
The witch is the least important. It sounds like from the three. So,
as far as time constraint, do we know? Is it Gala?
That's the same thing we're getting from you.
Or Agatha?
That would be up for you to decide.
Well, they're both the same. I mean, they're both missing and
Mine-
could be getting worse or whatever, fast or slow. We have no idea.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
but
there's
going
not
to-
really a way to know.
But going to look for Agatha, it's basically a shorter trip because they should have gone and come back within a day.
Do we know what the dangers are in the Mizzlemore? Besides,
A
again,
lot.
beastmen and
Death.
Beast 10, they
Gassy
talked about
wizard.
beastmen, moorhounds, the withered, and it's just kind of a toxic area, right? Because it's pretty much always kind of drizzling there, and there's this ochre haze kind of all around, so visibility is limited.
okay. Why
That
was
help?
Agatha there again?
It's,
She
She was looking for herbs for the
Herbs.
for the healer, and the healer was asking about someone going out there and looking. So she'd probably be very grateful if we looked into this.
So I'm taking it that Coulson has gone up to the Raptor's Beak with Ventus and Dinovis.
Yeah, so that evening
Yeah.
you guys have
Okay.
met all back up there.
Yeah.
Unless you had something
Can I-
else you wanted to
can I-
do.
Actually, I just after Coulson left, and I'm sitting in the Spiral Lion just hanging out. I'd like to walk up to the Innkeeper, thank him, pay him for my drink, and maybe give him a piece of silver, and just say I'd like to become friends, and we'll speak again, and walk out.
Okay. He seems a little taken aback, but no one is going to look at pieces of silver and not take them, right? But I better make
That
a
was my
note.
thought. I already took it off my character sheet too, so I'm glad he accepted it.
Yeah, your drinks, like you guys can say how much. Like I don't know, is Dirtless buying drinks for everyone or?
I would think so. Yes, he is.
Yeah, so
He
for
got prepaid.
yeah, so like you could probably have a few days, including meals and everything like that, for 5 or 6 gold pieces. Maybe less. Depends. The Raptor's Beak is a little more expensive than the Spiral Lion.
I'm gonna subtract 6 gold pieces because
Okay.
I treated everybody
All right.
nicely.
I would assume that we were hanging out at the Raptor's Beak, but maybe we spend most of our time in the Spiral Line. Or what do you guys think?
sleep at the Spiral Lion maybe. And
Yeah.
what's the chance that there's some just some day labor available at the Raptor's Beak or the Spiral Lion, mucking out stables or whatever?
Make a reaction roll. Reaction roll is probably my spot hidden.
Yeah, there we go.
I do a spot hidden, but I just roll a d6 kind of thing.
Yeah, I just kidding.
If I randomly say roll a d6 or something like that. Let's see how lucky you were. 7. Do you have a charisma modifier?
10 no.
Nope, no. 7. I'm sure, like, you could be, like, that long house across from the Revilla's Square there is like a lumber place. So it's like they could be going over to help them pick up, like, their loggers, pretty much. It's called the Longhouse, but most of the people that are there, you quickly realize when you go to pick up the stuff, are likely all Nordborn. But there's a specific type of Nordborn. Let me find it.
Albunion type.
Yes. And they have another name for it. Here we go. A white face. So all of them are clean shaven.
All right. Well, I don't trust them much, but
Theodulf is known as the foreman. And that'll get you a few silver pieces, and because you had to work over there and haul some shit or whatever. It took you a day or so. But you got to meet Theodulf the foreman.
I heard another door open. I heard another door open. It was the door. It was that door.
All right. Is there? So what's the plan? Is this? Have you switched? Are you guys gonna follow Ira's request and seek out Agatha, or are we headed into the hills to the north, searching for the lost pilgrims?
Yeah, because looking for Agatha is more like a rescue mission rather than a fact-finding mission.
I don't know. It's part of me thinks that both are going to be a rescue mission, but
Yeah, and I've already
they sound very
accepted
similar.
gold for Gala.
Yeah, my character is just gonna do whatever Avitus feels is most prudent for us.
So it seems like the first order of business is deciding what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Come on,
have
guys. It'll only take a
somewhere
day.
and someone else wrestle for it.
But we can't come back without Gala because, I've already been
Can-
paid.
Can you pull up your map of the area again, Mr. Hobbs, please?
Yeah, I will also maybe make that
Handout.
I'll try to make that a handout too, but I have no problem switching it back and forth.
Yeah, I have no problem. Switch over here.
I like to show it off.
Pretty sweet.
So if we just, this is me speaking, not my character, I guess, but if we go to the Mizamore and come back up to the Weeping Man, you said you're within a day to get to the Mizamore, and then from the Mizamore to the Weeping Man about another day, or half a day, 2 days.
So-
What do you think? If each one is a mile.
Yeah, see, you can do this.
Oh wow, that's very handy.
But this is going to be rough terrain over the hills, and it's going to be rough terrain in the
Yeah.
moor as well. So
Right.
it only looks like it's about
Well,
10
after
or
we go
12.
to the moor, we're gonna have to
Go ahead.
have to come back to the ridge for a week to heal up
Well, and I'm
and find new characters.
Stop meta in my game, Edwin. Jeez.
I'm an experienced legionnaire. I know about how you have to rest after you go out on a mission. It takes a while to get everyone back up to snuff.
So it seems to me like, okay, so we have the part of the Mizamore where what's her name? Agatha was found missing was the closest of the
Well, she hasn't
Mizamore.
been found. That's why.
Yes.
I mean, or where she went missing is probably the
Yes.
closest.
Yes. The closest.
So do we have a timeline for the expectation for the Praetor's daughter? I mean, we could do Agatha without fear or worry that we're like cheating on taking that goal.
Well, I mean,
it sounds like they think they may all be dead anyway. So I mean, you might be going out to the Weeping Hat just to find the body to say, "Yep, she died on the pilgrimage too."
Yeah.
and the thing is, I mean, it is a little different because Dirtless pushed the chaplain for money, right?
Yeah.
If he hadn't, then it wouldn't matter. There wouldn't be anything. It wouldn't even be like whatever. But he basically was like, give me some money so I can get some people and I'm going to go do it.
So like I did that for role-playing purposes to try and get the whole group together, just so everybody knows. I was trying to get the money so I could hire everybody here to go do something. That's why I was pushing for the gold.
It's all right. I like it.
I already did
Yeah,
it, so that's
I
what
like
happened.
it. Yeah. But if they see us leaving out of town, are they gonna definitely say, "Oh, they're heading to the Weeping Hat," or they're heading to the
It's the Weeping Man, not a hat.
Weeping
First
Man?
of all,
Sorry, Weeping Man, sorry.
the Weeping Hat is something else altogether. like a
That's
fedora,
a
maybe.
item.
I don't,
They're
a
just
beret.
like
A beret is a weeping
Yeah.
hat. I don't. But
Oh, the weeping. Never
man,
mind. Anyways, yeah, the weeping man. So I mean, if we leave that way, they're gonna say, oh, they went up that way, but we could go the other way.
there's only one way out of town, and that's through the south gate.
Well, it's
Yeah.
not. I mean, it seems like we're gonna go through the edge of the Mizzlemore on the way to the Weeping Man, almost no matter what.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right,
So-
so we could go in that direction. But Jason, there's like a right south of the ridge. There's like a swampy area, but is that considered part of the Mizzlemore or not?
Yeah, but there's a road there that goes through, and the Keldorans do make pretty good roads.
Okay, my point is that she didn't go to that little spot, right? She didn't. She went over to the west.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
she probably took the road. We'll say that it's like up this way,
Well, she was directed that way. She was directed
Yes.
that way, right?
and you have a kind of an idea of where it is.
Okay. So I'd probably say we go that way first, and we bring her back, and then head back to the Weeping Man.
Or could we at least get her to where she's safe to make it back herself?
Yeah, that would be a possibility too. Maybe we can hire somebody that could escort her back.
Or depending
Or
on how.
even if everybody shows up in the town but me, we'd still be okay.
And I mean, it could.
Huh.
I mean, it's not like they're gonna kill you or put you to death or anything. There might be some. They might be.
Oh no, I accepted the money, so I don't want to come back until I want to make it look
That's
like
something to
that's
show.
where my priorities are, even if that's not where they are.
All right.
I'm good with going for Agatha, and then immediately after that, my plan is to head towards the Weeping Hat.
Oh, great! Thank you, my divine friend. Yes, I owe you one. Thank you. Thank you very much. Pumping his hand.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm good with that.
All right. All right.
We're adding to your world building. It has a second name, and that's the Weeping Hat.
I look forward to seeing the peeing cat. I think it's going to be a fun rock formation.
The weeping fat cat hat man.
I just pick your pizza cat for some reason.
All right. All right, it's 9:30. I think maybe we'll say that the next day you guys are going to head off, and we will do that. And we're planning on next week, the 12th.
Yep.
Is everyone going to be able to make it?
Yeah.
As of
Yeah,
now,
that
it
should be
sounds
good.
like it, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything anyone wants to purchase or anything before you head in? We could take care of that.
I can't afford anything.
Well, I did get an advance, for finding Gala. So if that's for, if you need something, we can definitely get it.
I don't know.
So
Shields are
it's-
pretty expensive, so.
Is it over
And
5 gold?
Right. Aren't
I have a
shield-
good bit of money left over from rolling money, so
You've been
Yeah, the
keeping a
shield-
stash.
Right. Shields
I
are 10,
wouldn't-
right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, we can get you a shield. I'd throw in some of my gold for that.
yeah, I could loan people some money. Loan, not
Okay,
give away.
sure, no problem. I just need 7, thanks.
Yeah, so as far as that goes, we could probably take care of that in the Discord. You're going to be able to find almost anything either at there's a smith, there's an armorer, there's almost anything. And if you want to talk to these people, then let me know, and we could find out, what happens as far as that goes.
And so does Ira, I don't know if they're pronouncing that right, the herbalist, have anything that we could purchase from her that would aid us?
In our quest, yeah.
Like,
Healing
I don't know what would be available. Like,
Healing potion.
it could be a healing potion, but I doubt Hobbs is going to have a healing potion here.
yeah, I don't usually do healing potion, but there could be. Why don't you roll a d6? Ooh, a 1.
Ooh.
All right. So, yeah, at this point, what she did have, she gave to Agatha.
Okay. All right. Be that
Treasure.
way then.
Treasure.
I let the dice decide.
Funny.
So
That's fine. We don't need any of that stuff.
That's right. We have a holy cleric.
Yeah.
So I will keep track of time, and so like rations are only going to last standard a certain amount of time and all that crap until I get sick of it. So if you want it to last more than one outing or something like that, you're probably going to want iron rations instead of standard.
Okay.
Is what I'm getting at. And if you don't have it on your character sheet, then you probably don't have it. Though I might let you spend a weird point for that sort of thing, like, hey, I actually bought this or something. Maybe I'll make it random though, and you'll have to have a chance to be able to do that. I don't know. We'll see if we like that or not. Giving you some more narrative control for sure. All right. So as far as bookkeeping stuff goes, I think that's covered. Is there anything else anyone would want to do this evening before you head off into the Mizzlemoor?
I would just like to go back to the tavern and just walk up to the innkeeper again.
This is like the same day or something, or
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, you'll see. Yeah.
All right.
Walk
So
back
this
up to the innkeeper.
okay?
Thank him again for the drinks, his hospitality. Slide another silver coin to him and say thanks, and say I'd like to be friends, and walk out.
Okay. All right.
Purchasing friends, huh?
I'll mark it down.
Yep.
You're 2 silver pieces into his friendship.
It's 100 gold pieces. That's how much it costs to buy this guy.
I thought it was platinum.
You wait. You're gonna be thinking later, Dirtless, when we use his main table to heal your fat leg.
Yeah.
Fat leg, is that like something you get from getting bit by a Tubalard? I don't know.
I know it's your
We'll
world.
find out.
I don't know. You got to fix your mic though, because you're like super quiet compared to when we played with Edwin. It's like I think a different mic is picking up your voice or something than what it used to be. All right, so I think we don't have to get into this any deeper. I have some maps and stuff, but we will hold off for that and say that in the morning we're heading into the Mizzlemoor, and we can call it an early night tonight. So is anyone, I mean, it's going to be hard to have any highs and lows. Is there anything anyone wants to say? We'll go opposite direction. Dan?
I don't really have any highs or lows. The RP was good. I like the session 0 where we decided what we're going to kind of go off of. That was good.
All right, nice.
Nothing bad yet.
Oh. Any feedback, feel free to talk to it here or send me a private message or talk about it in our private Discord or whatever. I'm here and available. Edwin?
I might have done without the rules dump. It seems like the advantage of a session 0 is a lot more about deciding than about informing, and this seemed a lot of that felt more like an. I mean, you were. It wasn't like you were ramming it down our throats. I'm not. Just like I think you obviously were open to changes, but it was sort of here's what I'm planning to do, as opposed to let's come up with some stuff to do. But on a
what does that look like?
I think. So it could. I think it could be some. So on a scale from 1 to 5, what do we want to think about deadliness of the campaign? And so maybe we come out with a 2. Okay, so what do we want to? How do we want to adjust the rules to to make this rule set, which is sort of innately a 4 of deadliness, a 2 of deadliness. I guess I haven't really thought about that part, but that's what I think it might look like.
So, in other words, of me just deciding what it is, we actually talk about it, right, and decide together what we want it to be like. I like that.
Sort of brainstorm about it, or I do like. So on the high side, I think being in the being in a complex town situation already and having all this stuff is good. Meaning there's lots of strings to pull at.
Yeah, that's what I like, conflict. Some guy gave me crap for always including conflict into my settings, but I'm like, well, what else would you do? But anyway, right. Robert.
And just to piggyback on that, I assume that you did the sort of overview of the rules also for anybody checking it out on the Twitch channel, which would probably be helpful to sort of, especially if they're watching this from session 0, to get a sense of what the game is going to be like. And if anybody knows Hobbs' games, as far as I know, I've only watched a little bit of your Kalamata games, but they're supposed to be a lot more deadly. So this is like the Hobbs light version of OSE, apparently.
We pretty much use everything except the weird points anyway. So I guess what I didn't say is that my games aren't really balanced. Don't expect that you can just beat everything. It's not like that heroic mode is how some people would talk about it. I guess I didn't really necessarily say that, but yeah, if I have some random tables, like if it's possible that 25 wraiths show up in the Mizzlemore, then I'll probably have them show up or some aspect of that or something. But yeah, you could die in almost anything, any encounter at any level, really. I'm not going to make things by, like I made like something like this, like the Weeping Man. There may be some areas that are less deadly than other ones, but just be aware that you're not necessarily going to always win or not have to run away or think about things. It's going to be a challenge for sure. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but go ahead. Sorry if you had any more.
It's player skill, right? You got awesome player skill, so we're going to survive.
All right. Good. I like it. Mike's like, I've never done this before. No.
I'll show how the monster works.
In terms of highs, I would say I really think you have really awesome world building. So I think I like the world. I think you get it filled with all kinds of lore and background information. So that's really cool. I like all of that. I think that really kind of creates a great deal of immersion. From our session, I think the Weeping Hat was the high point, of course. Which I think you need to weave some sort of like additional lore in for why that's rumored to be called the Weeping Hat. But that's up to you.
I think that was only the town drunk Avos that is aware of the Weeping Hat.
I think he was trying to like really impress the innkeeper, and he just kept like ordering drinks, and he's like drinking about it. Tell me about the Weeping Hats. And the innkeeper's like, oh man.
Good, nice, good, Mike.
Is that better on the sound?
No.
It's so quiet.
Yeah, it's still kind of quiet and muffled.
Okay, using the same mic, so I don't know. Anyways, no, really good. Didn't have any lows. Kind of exactly what I expected it would be for the session 0. I just thought it was fun getting started. I guess my lows is trying to figure out why my mics are so quiet. But highs are just, looking forward to get started and have fun. So, yeah, it was good.
Nice. Thank you. Curtis.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with both, actually, Mike and Robert. A lot of work has gone into this background. You've given us lots of general information, lots of places to go poke our noses and get in trouble. I do like the touch of the of doing the voices there. Great. Now I got to work on that. And anything else? And the fact that you tried to basically give us a chance to get a feel for the place through our backstories.
Cool, man. Yeah, I thought it was interesting to give multiple things to see which one you would tug on more. Like, am I more interested in following up with, Curtis's background story, this person who's related to him, or do I go with this clergy thing that we went with before? I think that's an interesting aspect and will likely have ramifications of some sort, even if it's just between you guys deciding what you want to do. Like, are you going to be more involved with this healer now? Maybe she wants more reagents and you're just going to hang around with her and do stuff, or would it fall back and then get into some political things if you do help this praetor? Maybe, I don't know. We won't know until we play, and that's the way I like it. So, all right, I think we'll wrap this up. I appreciate everyone hanging out with us and watching the video. Feel free to subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Is this the way? Which is the way? Anyway, there's a subscribe button. Hit the bell if you want to know when I put up a new video, or follow if you're watching on Twitch. And feel free to subscribe on Twitch if you want to help support the Gamerhood and pay for all these goddamn maps that I buy. All right, Steve, the NPC. Thanks for hanging. Jerry, it's nice to see a few people in the chat. Other than that, I say stay alive. It's better to burn out than to fade away. TJ, cue the music.
It's a beautiful day in the Gamerhood, a beautiful day for my gamers. Would you be one? Could you be one? Shout about thunder, but don't despair. This colony's breeding great robbers. Would you be one? Could you be one? If the 80% mortality rate works for you, for a few bucks a month you can sign up and have the Hobbs kill you. So let's make the most of another Sunday. Brew up some coffee and play it my way. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my gamers? Won't you be? Won't you please, please, won't you be my gamers?